don't kick them while they're down. But either way, speed second banned out. Those are the two most common bans coming on through. Off-road first is an interesting one. We don't see that picked first too often. But yeah, this is I mean, again, I think these two teams have relatively similar map pools.
Yeah, I think these are definitely two of the teams most involved in kind of helping to set that quote-unquote meta that we've been seeing a little bit of, you know, dragging maps like Control down into that first four. Maps like Vortex and Pool also relatively likely to make appearances as well. Airwalk, I think, has a chance of being in our first four maps here, but Braking, I think, likely to fall a little bit further down. If we see Grip at all, likely to be a little further down, and the same story with Sinuous.
Yeah. Coco taking his time to get that.
Oh, never
that
mind. I look so dumb right now.
Yeah,
God
honestly, get better. What are you even doing? Why are you here if you're not gonna be correct all the time?
It's kind of disappointing, honestly. Like I think they're watching the stream. They heard me say that because as soon as I said it, they like slammed the pick.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, man, there is a lot of thought going into these picks.
Yeah, they are taking their time, and I mean, I don't really blame them. This is unusual so far. Off-road into Sinuous is got to be the first time 100% that we are seeing that combo of maps to start off a match. And I don't know, if we head now into Grip, keeping it weird, again, like Control has to just be much more likely, or something like Pool as well. I'm just going to keep saying Control. It has to be in the first four. I refuse to believe that Control is going to slip outside the first four picks after how often we've seen it there.
No way. Yeah, no. It's definitely going to be Control next, but yeah, no matter what it is, I mean, both of these teams seem they've somehow pushed each other onto maps that I feel like they're not going to be as comfortable on, each of them, you know, individually. But yeah, this is an interesting pick ban. I mean, I'm trying my best to kind of fill time, but I don't have anything to talk about.
I mean, Control is, after Pool, the most picked map, and is out of those maps. It's been picked in now 15 out of 16 of our Stage 2 matches, and in those matches has been picked inside the first four, I think, pretty much every single time. It is a lot that we get Control guaranteed in our matches, and we will see Airwalk then at number 5, Braking at number 6, and Vortex will be our decider if we go all the way down the line. But either way, kicking things off on Off-Road and then into Sinuous it's an interesting one. As you said, both of these teams looking maybe to make their opponents a little bit uncomfortable to kick things off.
Both teams here with a 50% win rate on Control, on Off-Road here. Both have played it twice. Both have won it once. Both have pretty much an even score differential. 12 points won for Easy Dream, 14 points lost. 23 points won, 18 points lost for ORKS. So their maps have gone on longer generally on this one, but Easy Dream have had two very one-sided games, one in their favor, one very much not in their favor. I mean, their stats are pretty much identical on this.
Oh, time to relax, settle in. We're going to be spending a little bit more time on Off-Road after finishing off our last match here. So, you know, snuggle up, get the popcorn that Mudda has brought to you, chat, and get ready for another match, because ORKS GP NUMELOPS are ready to take on Easy Dream in what should be, hopefully, a 6 or 7 match affair.
Yeah, it seems like it'll probably be that way. I mean, these teams statistically are two of the closest teams so far. Obviously, sample size, not insane. We've only had 3 play days so far, but I'm assuming we will get a lot more data coming out of series like this, where, you know, you've got two very closely matched teams coming up against each other. Those stats are going to be way more accurate coming on through, and you know, interesting starts. But Complex and Coco doing well to get things going and working with a lot of speed out through that first section there. Panda not having quite as good a time.
Yeah, I don't know if you picked up on why I said uh-oh.
Oh, no?
Panda may have just vanished a little bit.
Oh, no, please. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I didn't even think about it. There's no way.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way that Panda is having issues again. No,
he's staying 15 seconds away. No.
Yeah, I'm sure this is fine this time around. For clarity, we did unfortunately have the issue yesterday. Coco will crash out again. Complex will be through into first place. We'll explain the issues that we were having yesterday in just a second here after we see how this round ends up.
Complex
It'll be an ace
checkpoint
for Easy Dream, and Complex missed a checkpoint. We did unfortunately have the issue yesterday where Panda was having no problem on his side, but was not able to get any upload speed at all to the server, which was lagging out the entire server for everyone else on the server at the time because the server was detecting a player there but not receiving any inputs. It was a whole thing, and it led to a 45-minute podcast here on the Trackmania Challenger League instead. It does look better. It looks significantly better today, and again, the issues are not on Panda's end, so as long as there is any connection there at all, the asynchronous play should be okay. As long as we're getting some data from Panda, this match can continue, and I think we're getting some data from Panda, hopefully.
Oh, no, please, not again.
Oh, dear. Oh, boy.
Welcome back to the TMCL podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It is a good thing that we both have our Shure SM7Bs. We are podcast ready.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah. We're the average podcast creators, I think, honestly, in this day and age. So,
it's true.
Welcome back. Oh.
So excited. Yep. I hope it's a fix. I hope there's a fix available. It would be genuinely heartbreaking again. Yep. And I don't think my heart can take more breaking after the last match that we just had on ironically breaking. I didn't mean to go there when I started. It was just where it ended up. I'm too sad already. I can't take ORKS GP NUMELOPS having to forfeit 2 matches in the week.
Do we go for new topics? I mean, it's only been like 30 seconds. I don't know if
I do want to have half a pizza to eat as soon as stream ends here.
Okay,
so
go on. What is it?
Ready to go.
What is the?
All right, you're gonna hear me out here. It's a bit out there. It's a little bit unusual. Okay. It is pepperoni and also pepperoni. It's a double pepperoni pizza. That's
not unusual. I don't think.
It's absolutely not unusual at all.
That is every 13-year-old's favorite pizza, I think.
It's still really good.
That's fair. That's fair.
I do like it. I have had I've had pizza before because look, pineapple is obviously contentious, okay? But I've had a pizza that it had goat's cheese, rocket, and raspberries on it. Wow. And it was really good.
Well, okay. I you know what? I'm a complete pizza normie. I would say margarita is goated. I think that's
fair enough.
Neapolitan, maybe. All good. That's about it for me, I don't want to go too far out of that. What happened to my elbow? Oh, boy.
You actually lifted the elbow?
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
I'm a volleyball player outside of casting, and yeah, that's what happens, unfortunately. That is, it's not great. It's not beautiful, is it? I know.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's nothing more, sus than just sports.
Just repeatedly. Turns out any sport where you have to repeatedly dive onto a wooden floor is going to result in bruises. Honestly, I'm shocked.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is how that works. But
I feel like that's true of a lot of sports, where you just pick up certain injuries for them. Like I sailed when I was younger, and that just meant my shins were constantly in massive bruises and small cuts, which was partly
from the sail hitting you, or what?
No, like when you're in a dinghy, it's quite a small boat. You have to move backwards and forwards to either side of it quite a lot as well, and there's usually just a couple, depending on the type of dinghy you're sailing, there's going to be a couple of things at shin height that you will bang your shins into a lot, like very often. And it's
volleyball
painful.
In this weather? Well, the season just ended, like literally a week ago, so yes. It extends into spring. We'll start playing outside very shortly. But
yeah, and when the 1 week of summer hits the UK, it's going to be a great week of beach volleyball.
We move over to the beach then. I live by the coast.
Whew. That's great. I was having a conversation a while ago about golf with some other casters while we were on a different broadcast, and talking about the difference, because in the UK and in Ireland and a lot of Europe, you can play a round of golf. There's local golf courses for quite cheap, and we had a US broadcaster with us as well who was mentioning how very expensive to play a round of golf in most of the US, and just shocked at how cheap and how much all of the European broadcasters play golf. And then the broadcaster who lives in Australia weighed in and was like, yeah, we had a pretty cheap golf course near us as well. Used to go down there with my mates a lot, except it was beside the beach, so we'd usually get like 4 rounds in, get bored and go surfing.
That's fair enough. Yeah, no, it's I mean, I used to play golf as a kid. I stopped playing it after, I don't know. I remember I got like lessons. I think my dad really wanted me to be good at golf. you know how like your parents like lovingly push, like kind of like my dad very much wanted me to play rugby and golf. And then I started playing football and volleyball, and that's slightly different. Updates on Panda
at my school.
Having some issues right now, and yes, my elbow is okay. It doesn't hurt at all. It's fine.
That's good news.
My school.
made us all play rugby when we were in first year in school. So that's age 13.
I mean, that's a very British Isles thing, is playing rugby.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Jesuit school, they were like, right, we have 116 13-year-old boys. It is time to put all 100 onto rugby pitches.
I stopped playing as soon as it became
bond.
contact. I stopped playing as soon as it became contact. Like after it stopped being tag rugby.
Yeah, someone stood on my leg, and he was one of the largest men in the 13-year-old class.
I watched
of boys.
my friend get several teeth knocked out, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, he was a big guy, not just like, he was literally, we were all 13, so probably about like 5 foot to 5'6", and he was, I'd say, like 6'4". And he stood on my calf while like my leg was sideways, and all of his weight went through one stud onto my calf. And I could barely walk for like a couple of weeks. It was
I kind of stopped playing football for the same reason. I was a goalkeeper in that, which is why I play volleyball now. And it's Sunday league football is very... People don't really care if they run into you or knee you in the head or go up for a header and you're clearly getting it. They will still go for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of injuries through that. Like 3 concussions I got playing football.
Yeah,
So,
I do hear vague sounds in the background, Twiggy, of potentially a round start. That means that we are going to be back in. We do have Panda on the server, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to be a semi-permanent fix at least. It doesn't need to be permanent, just needs to get us through the next 45 minutes or so of gameplay. Easy Dream will still have their ace from the first round, but all 4 players are now moving. All 4 players are bringing us through off-road.
I hope you lot enjoyed your short podcast content there. Well, we may go back to it.
We didn't even get to talk about bouldering. And I went bouldering for the first time, like only about a week and a half ago. It was great, but we can't talk about it.
We'll go back to it if something happens. Hopefully something will not happen. But right now, Panda and Complex making up for that first round after Worker has slid out there on the ice turn. Panda out ahead, making up for the lack of internet earlier on. Complex right beside his teammate. Coco not far behind. If a mistake happens like that, definitely going to be able to pounce. Complex finds it difficult to get into that final turn, but it's all good in the end. It will be a draw, I think, to end things off. Panda having a very difficult time getting through the trees at the moment, but I don't think that's because of internet.
Well, you say that. Yeah, no, it seems okay. Seems okay. Car is still moving. We'll get to the line. Absolutely huge. I think possibly the first live round the Panda has managed to finish in the last 24 hours. So you know what? We will take it. It is going to still be a draw. It was a great time for Complex as well. Only 2/10 away from the current Challenger League record. Obviously getting plenty of practice in. Is it off-road that we've been on both times when this has happened? I think it is, right? Because
Panda,
it was GP NUMELOPS.
Panda, it happened on breaking.
Oh, it happened on breaking. You're absolutely right. So Complex hasn't just been sitting practicing this map for long periods of time.
No, I don't think so. I think before this one, they were actually practicing Control anyway before this series started. So there you go.
Yep.
But either way, Worker takes a very outside line there. I'm not sure whether that was. Sure. I think maybe had an awkward exit and went, you know what, let's just go all the way. And right now it's looking very simple for Easy Dream to get to the finish line in a 1-2 position. I'm going to choose to believe that Panda is down 10 seconds because of mistakes and not because of anything more unfortunate than that. But Coco and Worker cruising through to a finish this time around. And either way, it's looking one-sided. Wait, Complex. Coco missed a checkpoint.
Coco did miss a checkpoint, so it's still one-sided, but it's only going to be 6-2 instead of 7-1, and that is objectively better for ORKS NUMELOPS. Panda is on the struggle bus. Look, you have to imagine that mentally Panda is not having the best time of it in these rounds. It's gonna take a few seconds for Panda. It's one of those things as well, right? When you're lagging or you're having issues with internet and gaming, even when it goes back to normal, it's very hard to trust it again. Like it takes a while to actually get back into the rhythm. Yeah,
and it is. I mean, I think culturally, that is one of the most frustrating things that can happen. I have seen people turn from the most nice, well-spoken people in the world. If there's slow internet, just immediately like the worst, the most horrifying. Yeah, it can bring out the worst in people. But either way, right now, Complex is the one that is far down. Panda, again, trying to make up for, the lack of times that he's been putting up so far, whether that is due to internet, whether it's due to mistakes that have been creeping on through, right now in first position.
I'm legitimately happier if I have, the internet just fully dies with no chance of coming back than if it just starts going very slow.
Yeah.
It's so much worse when it's very slow. You're absolutely right, Twiggy, and I'm glad that we have all agreed on that, and I'm sure everyone agrees with us on that as well. At the moment, Coco is chasing down Panda, has a little bit more speed. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Panda will hold it off. The Panda has hands and uses them to fend off Coco all the way to the line. It's a draw for ORKS GP NUMELOPS. Draw's just not quite good enough for the moment. At the very least, Panda seems to have gotten the eye back in.
Yeah, definitely. A 59.7 is a really, really convincing time there. Coco right behind as well. But, I mean, Panda had to bring that out. That's the problem there. Panda had to make up for the teammate being in 4th position just to draw things up, just to stay within 4 points of Easy Dream, who are now on that track point, able to get an ace here and close things out. And well, as things have looked consistency-wise for ORKS GP NUMELOPS right now, that's looking very possible. Oh.
Yeah, and let's, well, not forget that this is ORKS GP NUMELOPS pick. They did choose to bring us to off-road first. Easy Dream are 7-3 up. Sure, maybe some shenanigans have helped them out a little bit, but great times have come from them nonetheless, and they have looked like overall the faster team so far on this map. But that may change in these last couple of rounds. Panda and Complex are looking great so far.
Well, yeah, indeed. Panda out in 1st position once again. Complex right behind. With a little more speed there into the plastic too. Coco and Worker right behind, but a little too far away to really pounce on any mistakes. 6/10 for Coco, and now 5 seconds for Worker as well. So it's looking like we're going to be closing that gap quite a little bit here, barring any checkpoint misses from the 2 ORKS players. Nah, it's all good. Both of them setting, well, one of them setting a 59.8, the other one a 59.7. Very convincing times. Worker will slowly find his way through the trees. All good, but now 6-7 the scoreline.
I don't think you're meant to be pathfinding at this point of the season. You should know where the path through the trees is.
We already have the optimal line here.
It is known. ORKS GP NUMELOPS, though, what a turnaround from a rough start through kind of no fault of their own. All of a sudden are driving round after round incredibly well. And they picked up another ace. They brought it back to within a single point, and they could yet turn this one around. It would be rough to give up an ace to Easy Dream now and let them away with track point. They don't look in danger of it at all, though. It is Worker who drops back after making the crash, and it is Panda and Complex off into the distance, although Coco with a great series of jumps, the transitions have caught straight back up.
Yeah, Panda just only 1/10 ahead now. The ice turns have been looking a little shaky through this series so far, and I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, no, everybody got through it in the end, but Coco drops a little bit further down than Complex right now, and it's looking like it may just be an ace for ORKS unless Coco can bring something special out here towards the identity. It's real tight. All it needs is a really good turn here, but it can still be taken away. Coco overtakes one, but overcooks it into a tree. Complex and Panda take an ace, and now it's a 9-7. This is the last round of this map.
ORKS GP NUMELOPS, full credit to them for pulling this one back from the edge. And if you want to say it's a 9-7, you can look at how this one started and say, actually, ORKS have been significantly more dominant than that on this map. Oh, there's Panda. He's back. He's back. It's okay. The Panda is rubber banding, but that's healthy for Pandas, actually. That's good behavior. That's natural behavior for them.
Yeah, well, right now, really neck and neck. Everybody really pushing for this round. Obviously, it ends this round no matter what, but for Easy Dream, it is a lot more difficult to get across that line than it is for ORKS. They need that ace. ORKS only need 1 point. They only need one player up in the top 2 here. Panda and Complex. One of them goes for a wider entry, and that's going to send him into 4th position. Complex. Oh, no, that's not good for Easy Dream. That is the worst possible thing in this position for them, and Worker gets airtime as well. Falls back. Complex is going to soar through into 1st place. It's looking all but over here. 1 point does it for them as long as Complex gets, well, doesn't lose 6 seconds here in the identity. Yeah. They close out the map, and Easy Dream, they had that chance. It just slipped away from them.
Yeah, is Panda still here? It doesn't matter. They've won the map anyway. Panda is still here. That was not a lag-related drop in time. That was a crash-related drop in time. And ORKS GP NUMELOPS will close the map out. 11-8 is the final score. And credit to them for keeping it calm and managing to pull that one back and pick up a map victory. As we go to Sinuous for map 2, Easy Dream have selected this, and it is a little bit of an odd second pick to try and bring this match level.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, Easy Dream really could have taken that one as well, so it's got to be a little bit for them, but either way, Sinuous now, it's their map pick. They can bring this one back quite simply, and on a map like Sinuous, you've got to rate their chances.
you do have to feel that they should come in. They should be the team that we'll hope that they have practiced a little bit more. They can win this one. Again, a map that we haven't seen all that much of. We've seen it twice already today, and I think the tides are turning. The wind has shifted, and Sinuous is starting to get back into the rotation in a big way.
Yeah, ORKS still have not played this map yet whatsoever. Easy Dream have played it once. If I remember correctly, they didn't pick it that time, and they did lose it. I can't remember who it was to specifically. It was Exalti or Ominosun. I can't remember which one it was. But either way, they did lose that map out. It wasn't really convincing either. It was a 5-12, so they did not get many points whatsoever on that one. But they have set good times. 102.270 from Worker. Is currently the record right here. And look, you got to rate their chances at the very least. If they've picked it, I think that means they practiced it quite a bit. But Worker off to a bad start.
Yeah, that was Easy Dream who did request a tactical timeout at the start of this map. Honestly, who knows why? That's an interesting one to me. I wouldn't have expected Easy Dream to do that. I guess maybe feeling worse about giving up that comeback than maybe we expected, or maybe they just wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming map in particular and decide how aggressive they want to go on it. Either way, that's a very, very early point in this series to be requesting their tactical timeout, and they won't have that later on if things start to swing against them. They need another bit of a break. Everyone's cleanly through. Panda, the closest to not being so, came out of that 360 very deep on the inside. Still dodges the tree, but drops back into third position as Complex versus Coco is the race up the top. Complex is overtaken ever so slightly, but it is the slightest of leads. Coco will crash on out. Complex Panda just about makes it through that finish line. Complex respawns again, and Worker and Coco both finished on through to give us a draw on round one.
Oof, okay, well, right before the identity, I was going to say, you know, this is, you know, like for a team that hasn't played it yet, Sprout was the same. Sprout took a long time to warm up into it. ORKS are looking way better, and, okay, maybe not quite, but either way, they managed to get a first position. They managed to get the draw out and hold Easy Dream at bay, but I get the feeling as soon as Easy Dream get one clean round in, that's a very beatable time.
Chad pointed out that the Kraken only has 6 arms, which means it's probably not actually an octopus or a squid or whatever. I don't know. Wait, do squid only have 6 arms? Oh, no, I can't. I'm not a zoologist. Don't worry about it.
I don't think... Is there a specific number of tentacles that squid have or whatever? I don't think there is a specific amount, but I don't know. Either way. Worker in first place for the timing. Oh, yeah. It is 8? Yeah. Okay. Well, all right then.
Actually inaccurate. Honestly, ORKS GP NUMELOPS ruined.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just like, you know, a different, it's a different, you know, kind of world, right? A fantasy world where, for some reason, octopuses, sorry, have 6 appendages. So there you go. Complex comes home in first position this time around, a 102.225. I'm so sorry for talking over that round, because that is a new Challenger League record. Very nice one as well. Barely beating out Worker, who he beat that round as well. And ORKS GP NUMELOPS not managing to get any points away from Easy Dream, but at the very least setting some good times and making it difficult for them.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff, and we've been threatened with a few Challenger League records today. The teams have enjoyed making it look likely, and we finally got one, Twiggy. I'm so glad.
Yes, it is incredibly... it's a happy day. It's a happy day at the moment. And by the way, it is centered. It's just that one side has longer tentacles than the other.
Yeah, like the head is off center, but like the logo
is actually centered. So
that's like saying the Easy Dream logo is off center because the bird head is over to the right hand side.
That's an odd thing to say. Anyway, come on, guys, just do graphics design for like 2 minutes. Come on. Either way, Panda and Complex.
He's got that's a wicked point.
Okay, that will be a wicked point.
360s.
Love that, but Complex and Panda will soar into first and second position because of it, so it's only a consolation prize as they both cross the line. 102.5, a decent time as well, but Worker and Coco not having a good time of it right now.
Hey, Easy Dream, this was their pick. They were the team that said, all right, Sinuous hasn't been a map that many teams have picked. We're going to be one of the teams to usher in its revival here as we cross the halfway mark of the season. We're feeling pretty good about our chances of being a team that's competitive on it. Let's go, ORKS. And ORKS are like, all right. We may not have 8 arms, but 6 hands is plenty to throw hands, and we'll deal with you, no problem.
Yeah, it's more than a bird has. Let's it definitely.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, for the time being, we're gonna have to hope that Easy Dream will get the claws out, as it were, or the talons, I guess. Panda. Why? Okay, you know what? I'm just... Twix chat today has been really interesting. Either way, Worker, first position for the time being, trying to get back that Challenger League record. Panda right behind. Complex has fallen back by almost a second at this point. Coco is going to try and get that overtake done on Panda, but Panda takes a very nice inside line on the ice and stays out ahead of the Easy Dream player. But Worker, still first place. Can he improve that record?
Attempting to improve the record. Will need a clean identity. It's been gained on nonetheless. It's very close to the edges. Will get cleanly.
Oh my lord.
That's an improvement. That was also an improvement by Panda, but it is a larger improvement by Worker.
Yeah, a 102.058 by Worker. Oh,
that would have been a wicked point if he'd crossed the line.
Yeah.
I'm like crossing the line sideways uphill by like grinding on the rail on the way up. That would have been worth it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a finish, and so I don't think it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, no, I don't think so. We've kind of made the de facto rule is that if you're close enough to finish and you don't finish, then your wicked points do not apply, basically.
Yeah.
If you're way further back in the map and it doesn't matter, then that's fine as well. That's okay. We saw Link going for a couple of those ones, but relinquished one, actually, by not finishing earlier on. But either way, I'm not salty about it. I'm not salty about it.
No. How dare you say Link relinquished one? I'm angry.
Oh, that was good.
I am heated.
You know what? I'm doing it unintentionally now, but I think it may just be subconsciously me trying to make... Yeah, I'm not sure that it is completely unintentional at this point.
Yeah. Hey, this is a close round, and this is a close map so far, so let's get back into the action as Coco and Worker attempt to chase down Panda. Complex is a long way back from all of these cars, but sinuous identity, it causes problems. It may cause one yet. Panda's not great at balancing, but this one is. Holds on for first place. We get a draw. We move to 7-5. ORKS GP NUMELOPS could close out their opponent's map from any point now.
Yeah, and Easy Dream aren't doing badly right now. They're setting good times. It's just they're being kept well at bay by ORKS GP NUMELOPS at this point. You know, Worker absolutely smashed the record by 2/10 just a couple of rounds ago, and it's not like they're setting terrible times apart from that. It's just that Complex and Panda are doing a really good job of making sure that Easy Dream aren't getting free points out of these rounds. They're having to work real hard for every single point that they get, and for now, ORKS GP NUMELOPS stay 2 points ahead, and Complex and Panda not looking like they're going to make any mistakes that allow Easy Dream to push that any further.
They're looking, they could just close it out here. They could go all the way up to 10 off the back of this round, and it's up to Worker, the current Challenger League record holder, to try and deny them on this one, but a touch is going to make that awkward. The car is straight. It wants to be sideways on that ice. Panda, though, is fully out. Worker will join him in the corner as well. They'll have a bit of a chin wag over there about what's just gone wrong, but it's Complex and Coco to the line. Complex, you can see him through the scoreboard up there. Will cross the line at 102.155. Coco in second. Panda looking to secure third place and will do so. It's 9. It's 6.
If anybody landed, you know, nicely there, that would have been a wealth of wicked points going on. But no, nobody landed properly, so nothing going for either player there. And another ESIN scoreline, and ORKS GP NUMELOPS move ever closer. Easy Dream now need that ace this round. It is required if they want to have a chance of taking this map away. Absolutely. It'd tie it back up. It'd be a photo finish from there on out. But this, honestly, we're getting to the point where maybe it even starts to look like deciding the match if Easy Dream do lose their first map pick here. If ORKS GP NUMELOPS get out to that 2-0 lead and head to pool with that lead, that's going to be a very scary time for Easy Dream. The bird may not be able to catch itself midair and regain flight in this series. Complex and Panda, they're well set in order to take the 1 point that they need this time around. Now slightly less so, but should still be okay as long as Panda can hold on with the 2-second lead that he has over Worker. we've seen a few players crash out on the identity, though, so Panda, you know, the job is not over yet. Needs to keep it clean. Uh-oh, there it is.
Dear.
Oh, dear. Worker is still ahead of Complex. Complex is still ahead of Worker. It's all good. It just about went right. Easy Dream almost got there, but it's all good. ORKS GP NUMELOPS take their second map, and it is Easy Dream's map pick that they take.
So we have to go to Pool with Easy Dream trailing by 2 maps already. Pool, a map where the team that picks it seems to come out on top fairly often. Yeah. It's one that you don't pick unless you're comfortable on, but equally, you know it's coming. We have seen it in every match so far. 16 out of the 16 maps that we have seen. And despite that, there is still a pretty clear discrepancy, I think. You know, the teams that have picked it have won on it over 60% of the time at this point.
Yeah, well, this one may be a little different. These two teams, again, very evenly matched on this one. Both of them have won it once out of the times they've played it. Easy Dream have played it one more time than ORKS, so that's 50% and 33% respectively. Both of them have very even track scores overall, and, I mean, both of them have very similar kind of 10% or so ace percentages going on this one, so there's really nothing to separate the two teams, even in terms of times. Their best times, Coco with a 105.558, Panda and Complex both with a 105.455.
That is quick. That is legitimately very fast. That won't be fast. Coco has dropped back after a full crash into a checkpoint back there, and it's Complex and Panda looking to add to their ace percentage at the moment. It's up to Worker to try and catch back up. And how risky are you feeling, Worker? How much are you willing to send this one into the identity? How much are Complex and Panda willing to safe it in order to allow that comeback to happen? They are a little bit safer, and Complex nonetheless slides on out. Panda, there is Worker creeping and trying. Panda should have the speed to get to the line at this point, and no slide out means that is exactly the case. Worker only a 10th behind. It's a round win for ORKS GP NUMELOPS nonetheless.
That was a good attempt from Worker there, but I think, I mean, went so risky that had to correct the course of the car before hitting that wall there, had to slow down a little bit. Easy Dream, they'll take 1 point from that round. That is absolutely fine, considering ORKS GP NUMELOPS were in a 1-2 position going in towards the identity. So not the worst scenario they could possibly imagine starting off this one, but they do need to work a little harder. Technically, on paper, ORKS have the slight edge here.
It's not worth the paper that it's written on, though, is it, Twiggy? It's genuinely, we've seen incredible rounds on Pool, and I'd expect these two teams to hopefully give us our closest map yet. ORKS GP NUMELOPS have looked very, very solid so far in this match. I think they are the team that has had the most up and down performance so far in this stage. Yeah. They started it off. They lost 4-1 to BS Plus competition, which was kind of shocking at the time. They then went on to immediately beat Sprout 4-2 on Playday 2, and then lost 4-0 to Amino Sun. I don't know what's going on with this team anymore.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Look,
like if they pick up the 4-0 here,
yeah, this would be it would be an interesting one. Like, the thing is, we know they have the skill. Obviously, they were a mid-table team last time around, and look at that. I mean, look, brilliant times coming through from both of those players. I think Panda. Oh wait, no, sorry, they're the team with the 105.4s, both of them. So neither of them improving on their times, but still very solid times. ORKS GP NUMELOPS now 5-1 in this map, and we were expecting this one to be a little closer. Easy Dream have had a lot of mistakes creep on through in this map.
5-1 is hard to come back from. It continues to hold true in nearly every match that we see, and ORKS GP NUMELOPS have secured that 4-point lead for themselves. Halfway to the end of this map, and a 3-0 lead in their favor as well. And then it'll be up to Easy Dream in order to get the first reverse sweep of Stage 2. How likely does that feel? I'm going to say not very likely right now, Twiggy.
Yeah, it does not seem that way at the moment. ORKS just seem to have the slight edge in every single map right now. Easy Dream having a hard time keeping up for the time being. You never know. It's a Challenger League. We said the same thing with Sprout versus Omino Sun back in Stage 1, and well, that was the first reverse sweep we saw. Panda and Complex in a 1-2 position now feel like they have got their bearings on this series. It's looking real good from both of them. Almost slamming in. Oh no, but there is the first mistake coming on through. Coco will be trying to chase down, but it's not enough. A 105.379 is almost a new Challenger League record. It is a new PB from Panda. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
ORKS GP NUMELOPS, they're looking very, very good. I mean, up against BS Plus competition could be a very interesting match right now between those two teams on this map, because BS Plus competition, we've talked them up a lot, said that they look really, really strong on pool. And unfortunately for us, they did look really strong on pool back when they played ORKS GP NUMELOPS in week 1. And despite that, ORKS GP NUMELOPS have continued to improve. And I'd say right now, we won't get to see that head-to-head again until potentially the playoffs. But at the moment, I reckon that they could give BS Plus competition a run for their money with what they're showing us.
Yeah, I think it's the consistency of being able to put together, obviously, the times from BS Plus competition when they're up at the top are better, but ORKS GP NUMELOPS seem to be putting together really nice consistent times. Maybe not this round. That's absolutely fine. They have a 7-point buffer. It's not like we've seen anybody stage insane comebacks today already.
No. Specifically a 7-point comeback.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
we haven't seen that whatsoever. So
was it a 7 point? It was a 7. It was a 6 point. I don't know. It wasn't. I don't actually think it was a 7. I think it was 8-3, 9-4, and then 10-9 was the final score. And that is not 7 points, but that is going to be an ace for Easy Dream. They're on the road back into this map, even if it is still a long path in front of them. They're up to 4 points, though. ORKS GP NUMELOPS still only need a round win to close this one out, but they'll need to rediscover their form from previous rounds in order to get there.
Yeah, it's a difficult road to take, especially, ORKS GP NUMELOPS had a couple of mistakes there, but apart from that, they have looked real good right now on pool. They just need to keep a little bit more consistency there, and that was a very beatable time. They can definitely do that. They don't need to full risk everything in this map. I think they have figured out Easy Dream just cannot really quite match them when it comes to top times, and Panda and Complex will hopefully take things a little more safely throughout this one and not give anything too easy away to Easy Dream, because otherwise, look, my heart has had enough of it already today. I don't think I could take any more.
Yeah, that looked like Coco touching a wall on the way through, front wheel getting in there and allowing Complex through as well. Panda holding on to the lead. Coco has not dropped too far back, is still in fact in front of his teammate here, but it is Panda and Complex with that 1-2, and they can afford to be a little bit safer now as we head around this final turn towards the identity for potentially the last time in week 4 of the Challenger League, as Panda and Complex are cruising on through. Coco has gotten up into position to contest Complex, but Panda has first place on lock at the moment, and Worker is into a wall. Complex has won the race to the line.
Oh my lord, what is that?
105.183 from Panda. He was that far in front. I did not realize he was that far in front because he was that far in front of the current Challenger League record.
We're almost got a new world record. Oh my lord. Well, there you go. There's our first, I think, Challenger League record within a 10th of the world record now, I think.
Yeah, that is 105.183. The current world record of 105.168.
200th. Wow.
Jesus.
Okay. I mean, BS Plus competition dethroned, I think.
Yeah, honestly, it is genuine. I am devastated that they played back in week 1.
Yeah.
I would love to see them coming up in like week 5 on on that map.
I mean, Panda, I think is maybe there's a fire, after yesterday's unfortunate circumstances, didn't even get to play, right? Making up for that definitely now. That is an unbelievable time.
Very, very quick, and God, I can't wait until we get the first Challenger League record that does break the Grand League record, and I hope we do get one. It's such an enjoyable moment, and we get chat to scream with us. We'll finally get to unleash those capital A's instead of the lowercase A's that we've had them doing. It's going to be a big moment. It's going to be a big moment.
Yeah, indeed it is. Well, this one is already within, 1.5 tenths of the Grand League record. It was set by McQuattro, so none of the players are on the board here today. But right now, important for them both to buck up, as it were. Easy Dream now 3 maps behind. It's a difficult road ahead, and they just really need to get this one done. Currently in a position to get that round win to start things off would be a very nice start to things. But Panda splitting the difference between the two players, keeping a solid performance going. Worker is going to cross the line. It's a solid time from Worker. A 110.512 is within half a 8/10th of McQuattro's TMCL record. So very possibly we get an improvement there today as well. But it is a round win for Easy Dream that starts things off.
I mean, that was improved today, wasn't it? That was literally in Exalti versus Sprout. McQuattro managed to set that and improve it.
Yeah.
Because it was, it was a 5 going in, or was someone else going in? Yeah, it has been improved once already today, and we're getting close to doing it again. It'll be very close, and we're also in a position where I don't really want to bring it up, Twiggy, but we do maybe need to bring up that Easy Dream did go on an 8-match losing streak, sure, of which 5 were last season and 2 were this season. Or 6 were last season, and then 2 were at the start of this stage. And those 5 last stage were all 4-0s. They got swept every single time, which, hey, uh-oh.
Yeah, you really don't want that one to happen again, and I'm sure Worker and Coco really don't either. This map has been pretty decent for them so far, but not even remotely as decent as ORKS, who have a 30%, the best ace rate going on, and I think that is yet to continue, honestly. At the moment, Coco is contending with Complex here up at the top. But again, best times do go to ORKS on this one, a 110.6. Well, not anymore, the best time out of the 2 teams here, but was the best time before this started. Complex crosses the line at 111.3. Not insane, but ORKS, at the very least, bring things back in their favor.
Yeah, lots of small errors in that round. Nothing round-breaking, really, apart from, like, Panda and Worker, they fall back by 3 or 4 seconds, but it was mostly just small errors, cars clipping wheels on the edge. That led to that being quite slow, but it was enough for ORKS GP NuMeLOPS to tie the map back up at 3-3 to put themselves back on this road to the complete shutout. Again, I think only our 2nd of Stage 2 so far. Now, we've had 2 previously. One of them, of course, against ORKS GP NuMeLOPS, where they got swept by Omino Sun, and then alternate attacks against Omino Sun, ironically. So I said that ORKS GP NuMeLOPS were maybe the most up and down team. Who knows what's going on with Omino Sun either?
Yeah, there are a lot of up and down teams, I think, this stage so far. Teething issues for Stage 2, I think, definitely. That should even out towards the end of the... like, the thing is, right, we've been through 4 Playdays. It's been 2 weeks, let's be honest. It's not really exactly the same thing as we had in Stage 1, where everything was a lot more spread out going forward. But either way, Panda and Complex now looking to set the first ace of this map here in a 1-2 position, but only just about. Worker and Coco right behind Complex here. Worker realizes he's not making it through. Oh, no. Panda realizes he's not making it through. And now Complex is in first position. Coco right behind. Worker does get through this time around. Complex crosses the line. A 110. Oh, sorry, a 111 flat. Coco almost a second behind there. Worker will come through with a 3rd position. Panda having an uncharacteristically unfortunate identity there and comes through 11 seconds behind. We start we keep things going with an ace there. Oh, sorry, an ace with a draw. Not quite. It
was an ace round, though. I can't even say that.
Yeah.
Well, was it? Not really. There was quite a few mistakes.
No, it was a disappointing round,
including from Panda, who otherwise has been driving very, very well. I'd say probably the best Worker. You don't see that very often.
No, that was
also Panda just
pro skater moment. Wow, Panda, breaking speed records there, definitely. If anybody was there with a speed gun, they would they'd definitely be catching him. He'd be getting a ticket right now. Either way, Complex and Panda, 1st and 2nd position. This time can convert things into an ace, definitely. Worker down by 5 seconds that early on in the map. It leaves you a lot more relaxed heading forward.
Yeah, Panda and Complex, though, are hand in hand all the way through these final series of turns, and it's Coco who has had the worst exit, who is losing a little bit more ground. And as daylight opens up between the 2 teams, it's ORKS GP NuMeLOPS looking to put themselves on match point. A clean identity gets them there, 7-4, winning 4 maps in a row and handing Easy Dream a loss that would feel all too familiar after last stage. But Complex has had a rough landing. It's up to Panda to keep this one safe. It's Panda dropping through the sky and cleanly to the finish line. Coco in 2nd, Complex still in 3rd. It is still going to be a win for Control, but not quite match point yet.
Yeah, but you do feel like that could come back to bite them. Thank the heavens above for ORKS that they do have 3 maps in their favor already, and it's not a closer series, because otherwise any round like that where you have an ace position by quite a long way and it's just one little mistake that gives away that extra point that you could have got. Well, I mean, technically 2 points difference that you could have got over the opposite team. It can hurt a lot, and it really can come back to bite you. We've seen it so many times today already, and there again, Complex, a tiny mistake, just being a little too inside on that turn, loses a second, and now Easy Dream have an opportunity to get back into things.
Yeah, I have faith in the Panda, though. The Panda is going to cruise to the line here.
Panda.
Don't even worry about it. Look at him. He thinks he's Spider-Man. He's stuck to that wall, and he's cleanly through. He's quick, and he will stick to another wall. You don't want to stick to that wall, as it has sent the Panda spinning out of control. And Complex is back in the race. At least Coco a little bit slow as well. It's Worker who has a commanding lead over the rest of the field at the moment. Panda and Complex are looking to keep the draw and keep their 1 point lead alive. 1 point moves them to match point anyway, just preventing their opponents from getting there, as Coco with the mistake is going to allow Panda and Complex all the way through to the line. Worker somewhere up the road is looking to get to that finish line and will finish in first place. Coco is going to come home in fourth, and it is ORKS GP NUMELOPS on match point, and their opponents still trailing by 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. When the scoreline is like that, just a draw is such a heavy blow. Despite the fact that EZ Dream are down by 1 point, it's opened up the door now for ORKS GP NUMELOPS to set one good round, and it's over. The whole series is over, and just a 4-0 after all of the hard work that you can tell that EZ Dream have put in this stage, to go from a team that was dead last, you know, completely getting destroyed in every series at the end of last stage, going from that to coming up against alternate attacks and taking 2 maps against them, coming up against all of these teams and putting up good performances, going back to losing 4-0 will feel so horrible. And right now, Panda and Complex in a 1-2 position can make that a reality.
And this has, unfortunately for EZ Dream, very much the look of a lot of their 4-0 series from last season as well, where they still were within distance of picking up a map, and yet for 5 weeks in a row just didn't quite manage to do so. They, you know, got up to 7 or 8 points a lot of the time, but then never quite got it across the line. And that's exactly what ORKS GP NUMELOPS look to have done to them here this time as well. Panda and Complex are cruising in formation around these last final turns. They have plenty of room to work with, and they will finally make it over that fast jump. Nice. It's going to be a 110.7. Quick as Coco is going to pick up some wicked point stats. A couple of wicked points then. All right, Coco, it's a single point, and it is Complex and Panda closing things out. ORKS GP NUMELOPS will move to 2-2 on the stage. EZ Dream will get swept for the first time in stage 2, and hopefully not a sign of things to come the same way that it was in stage 1.
I think that's a very vindicating 4-0, obviously, for ORKS. I mean, obviously, forfeiting last game, it's a default 0-4 against them.
This close this time as well.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it was scary. I'll give you that, it was scary. But yeah, obviously forfeiting gives you a default 0-4, so you lose 4 maps in that standings. Otherwise, it would be unfair against the team that won. You know, it could change the standings completely. So getting that back, evening things out over the course of this weekend is going to be quite vindicating for them. They'll feel very happy about that, and Panda especially. That it wasn't the end of the world, that forfeit, you know, for their series, or for their season, sorry. So very nicely played, and I mean, honestly, it was a learning experience there from ORKS, like absolutely brilliant. Like there was barely any mistakes coming on through. Completely took advantage of EZ Dream when they did make mistakes, and exemplary, I think.
Yeah, and well, they'll have to. They learned a lot. They play alternate attacks next, which, whew, best of luck. Only one team remains undefeated in the Challenger League Stage 2. That is alternate attacks. They are going to continue to look for that perfect regular season, ultimately denied to them in Stage 1. Wasn't it? They didn't get a perfect season in Stage 1. No, there's no way. They did lose a match. In Week 2, they lost to Schweinheim Racing, but Schweinheim Racing aren't here anymore. So can anyone stop alternate attacks? We'll find out in the future. Of course, Challenger League will return next week. Keep an eye out in all the usual places to get an idea of the schedule when it is released. The TM Esports Twitter is usually a good one. Twiggy, that's where you get all of your updates, and that's why you were definitely not nearly late to today's broadcast. I know that for a fact. The standings at the end of 4 rounds of play are, of course, as mentioned just there, alternate attacks undefeated. Sprout, the only team on 3-1, sitting in their traditional, at this point, second place spot in the league, just behind alternate attacks. And at the other end, Ascent sit 0-4. EZ Dream now sit on 1-3. Both of those teams on the struggle bus. And then everyone else is tied on 2-2, because how else would things have shaken out after a couple of weeks? That makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm looking forward to seeing Twiggy it broken up a little bit as we head towards the end of the season.